Alright guys, welcome to the channel. If you've been following along with this series of reviews of the Zaccaria Packs, you will know kind of the ground rules, but I'm going to go over them just real briefly. I'm going to be rating every one of these games on a scale of 1 to 10. I will be rating them against their peers, not each other necessarily. So remakes will go against remakes, solid states and EMs versus themselves, and all retro tables versus other retro tables. So those are the ratings, and we'll get started. So today this is pack 4, and we're going to start with Stars Phoenix. Stars Phoenix is a kind of a strange IP to me. I can't tell if the guy is supposed to be like a savant bowler or like a roulette champion, casino type of guy, or what. I believe that was French. I don't know. Kind of perplexed myself. At any rate, this is the game. It has kind of some pretty cool spinners, bumpers. It has this cool dynamic where you have to throw the ball through the spinners, but they're kind of ramps, if that makes any sense. So you got these 5 spinners, which are bowling ball or bowling pins. And you collect the letters, so you go BC and then stars, which I'm not really sure what the BC stands for, but the idea is to try to get all of these letters, which I'm doing a pretty good job of so far. But I think you have to get stars first, if I recall. So, as I'm not getting the B and C letters as of yet, I'll dead flip this over here. For some reason, the S did not take, so... But yeah, there's red levels, orange levels. I mean, it's a pretty strange game. It looks it's got kind of a funny layout, but sounds really, really good. And a lot of these solid states I really like, actually. So this is no different. I think this one's pretty good. It is a little obscure, but you have some really cool shots on it. It's very different. So we're going to try to get this ball. We're going to try to get it up that ramp there, but I believe I lose my special. Yeah, that's disappointing. I really wanted to get that special, but... And it's got this kind of this dynamic where you kind of drop it into one of these holes, which is kind of different too. And there's a flipper up there that flips up. So there's some different stuff going on for sure. It's a pretty cool title. I guess I would rate this one probably a 7. It's a little obscure, but a little different. I don't know. But anyway, that's about a 7. I wish I knew a little bit more about it. I'm gonna have to kind of get into it, but it's not crazy fun, but it's kind of different. It's got a nice layout. So back glass is really nice. So that's pretty cool. About a 7. Next up, we'll go to Stars Phoenix 2018.
Stars Phoenix remake.
And all of the yeared games are actually remakes. So just in case if you're not familiar with that, if it says 2017, 2018, 2016, those are all remakes. So just so we're clear. Okay, so here we are again. Really cool fan layout. It kind of it retained all of those spinners, but it put them on ramps this time. So it's a little different. This one has modes. And you see here we got craps, bowling, slots, roulette, and blackjack. So I don't know how bowling fits in with casino type games, but apparently it did once upon a time. So a little different. It's got kind of a magnet stop there, which is kind of interesting. And if you collect all the ramps by the spinners, just like you did in the original one, you start the modes.
Don't move.
Not particularly fond of this one. It's okay. It's certainly not bad. It's got kind of a cool dynamic here where you have a dice roll as opposed to an outlane. So it's got some different stuff going on, which is kind of nice. I love variety. And I love the fact that it stops that ball because you can actually take that shot through the 7. It's pretty difficult to do otherwise. It could have done without it probably, but it does add to it. Scoring's pretty good on this one. You can collect lots of millions, and there's lots of opportunities. The callouts are pretty good. Sound effects are all really good. for most of these tables, they're pretty solid across the board. Most Magic Pixel titles. They don't do anything special necessarily, but nice, good orbit. There's a lot of emphasis on bumpers on this game, so a lot of things get kicked into the bumpers for a lot of different things. So, but yeah, cool sound effects. If I had to rate this one, I'd give it a 7. It's certainly reasonable. Again, the IP is a little strange. I'm not really sure how everything fits together, but that's what it is. It's a fun game. And again, if this was the only game you'd have, you could still play this game for a long, long time and really enjoy it. So there you go. So that is Stars Phoenix Remake. Pretty straightforward. Next up is Star God. Star God games are actually pretty cool. They remind me of like a Golden Axe or like a Rastan Saga type of character. Just kind of cool, like the arcades. And they have a kind of a neat playfield to them. Very unique. This one has a really cool upper playfield. Actually, this one does not. This is the way the remake actually has a raised upper playfield. This one looks like it because of the way it's broken up, but I don't believe it actually is. It does, actually it technically does. It's ramped as opposed to like an additional playfield, but at any rate, we'll get into it. You plunge right onto the upper side, which is cool, and there's a ton of slingshots up top. Keep the ball moving. Everything sounds really, really good. Wow, I lost that ball quick. Apologize for that. Holy cow, that was quick. Love the art style of these ones. They're kind of super colorful. Really cool sound effects. This one, however, lacks the flippers on the upper side. You only get the 2 flippers. So you got what you got. And everything up top is just kind of wait and see. It's all bumpers and slingshots. Whereas on the remake version of this, you'll actually get a lot more control up top just by having a couple of flippers. So it adds to the effect quite a bit. But either way, this one's still quite fun. Really awesome playfield for the time. There wasn't a lot of playfields were not this crazy back then. I didn't think they were much more simplistic, much more like Nautilus or something like that. Just more simple in general. So this one's kind of out there, which is kind of neat. So I would give this one an 8 just because it's so original and it's so different. It's kind of fun. It has definitely a different art style to a different style all around. And the rule set's a little complicated, which is kind of nice, and it adds to quite a bit of it. So sadly, the instructions I believe are I think they're in Italian. I'm not really sure exactly what it is, but very cool. So anyway, Star God. Give that one an 8. Next up, we're going to play Star God Remake, or 2019.
Star God Remake.
And thank you to Drummer in my comments, who's also known as Starving Artist and or Pinball Wizard 2023 for correcting me on the thumbnails. I had misspelled Zaccaria on all of my first 3 reviews thumbnails. And in that process, I thought, why don't I just put the pack of the game on there so that people could see all the titles as well? So I did that. So that was all kind of all part of one. This one ups the production quality of the original Star Guide tremendously. Look at the beauty of this table. All kinds of really cool colors. You have the true upper playfield now, 2 extra bumpers, 2 extra flippers, which allows you to do a little more on the upper playfield, collect the stars, and actually gives you just a little bit more play elements to it. The to start modes, we're going to knock down a couple of drop targets over here, if I can actually hit them. And that's how you start the modes. And the modes are really, really good in this, actually. They're narrated, and so you have to basically acquire the Sword of Hayden, And I think you're battling something about, let's see. Yeah, here's the modes here. Sword of Adder, the Cave of Hayden, Lord Eldor's Crystals, and you go through these in a linear path to complete the game. Each one of the modes has some really cool objectives. Sometimes it's just the ball distance, so it's travel distance for the ball, which is kind of interesting. Sometimes you have to hit just a particular ramp or targets. So this one's a little different. It's kind of fun. It's cool. I'll let this ball die down to the lower playfield to see if I can get into a mode. I was hoping to be on the other flipper, but come on. Nope. Did get a kickback, luckily. But yeah, the modes in this one are quite fun. Oof. Music is good, but not intrusive, which is good. It's kind of muted, which is kind of nice in this regard. Oh, I'm terrible so far. The voice acting in this is actually incredible as well, so it's very important that I get into the modes for that purpose. Here we go.
Our first mission is to go to the Cave of Hayden. Only there can we find the Sword of Adder.
So, awesome, like I said, awesome voice actors. The voice acting alone makes this a great game. It has kind of a 80s vibe to it of grizzled veteran kind of thing. Pretty cool. In this case, you have to throw the ball around for 15 meters, I think it said. So you have to just keep the ball in play and try to give it as much travel distance as possible. So that's kind of cool. It kind of pushes you along because you want you to complete. They are timed missions, which can sometimes be a downfall.
We have found the cave, but we still have to find the Sword of Adder.
And so now, it even is smart enough to understand that I've already beat those drop targets, so it's not going to make me repeat those. That's a nice feature. Some games do not have home world that make you redo the way to get into a mission all the time. So it makes it pretty draining. This one doesn't do that, and I think it does a really good job. This game in general, I think is super fun. I'm 1 star away at the top there from collecting bonuses and different things like that. So, but anyway, I really like this game. I would give this one a 9. I really like this one quite a bit. Okay, Star God Retro. Not a lot of these are very good. I've been rating these between 3 and 5 for the most part. There's not a lot of good ones, but there are a few. So we always try to come to them with an open mind. However, the first thing about this one, crazy playfield and 5 capture holes. So as you know, if you watch my Pack 3 review, I really don't like a lot of capture holes because it really slows down the gameplay. Makes it really tough. Lots of rings and dings. You take away a lot of the I mean, that's an incredibly difficult shot to handle. Not much of nudging would have helped that. So, I can tell you this one's going to be a 3 as well. I just don't see much redeeming value to this one, which is sad because the other Star Gods are really good. Both games are actually pretty good. But, yeah, and you're basically trying to fill up these stars, if you will. And it's tough to play. Lots of nudging involved. And, yeah. And I guess everything resets every time, too. So it makes it really difficult to score any meaningful points. So it can be tough. But, again, you got to give it to them. They made a lot of crazy decisions on a lot of these retro titles. But it is what it is. That was a whole game. Look at that. I guess we'll accept credit for that and move on. So we'll give that one a 3. Okay, Strike. Solid State from 1978. This is a bowling theme. Quite obviously, by looking at the back glass, pretty wild. Right, we'll turn this one back up. The retro tables can be pretty wild, so they're pretty loud. Okay, So Strike, this one looks very similar to some other tables that I've seen. I can't remember the name off the top of the head, but it's got playing cards across the center here. I'd have to go back and look, but this table just looks very familiar to me. I actually like the sound effects quite a bit, and I like the fact that you're kind of. I feel like they could have done more with a bowling theme, quite frankly. Like Strikes and Spares actually does a really nice job of feeding balls to flippers, and then you're actually shooting pins to actually play bowling. So I feel like they could have done something a little more different with that. But as far as a recreation, it is what it is. This is very much a pinball style game, which actually has some good elements to it. The drop targets all sound good. There is some nice specials and things like that. You can easily get up to the upper playfield by shooting wide, so there's some value there. You're not stuck in the bottom playfield like a lot of the retro tables. So, yeah, this one's okay. Not particularly great, but certainly not terrible. I would give this one a 6. It's got some value to it, and it's got some pretty satisfying bonus ball shots and stuff like that. Okay. All right. Next up, we got Super Sonic, 1977 EM title. It's pretty funny, the electromechanicals and the solid states kind of run hand in hand, and it's basically whether or not it's a digital back glass or not, and otherwise the tables are very similar, so a lot of times. Super Sonic. Now this is basically talking about the Concorde, so obviously it's got a British theme to it, Britain to America to France type of a theme where you're flying between the three. Obviously the Concorde is there, supersonic aircraft that was used. Playfield is super colorful and bright and has some nice orbits. I'm going to try to throw this one up the orbit. Love that type of mechanic to it. You got a capture hole on the other side. You've got some nice dynamics to this. It has a nice flow to it. That table actually has a pretty nice flow to it. I would probably give this one an 8. It's pretty fun, actually. And yes, there's not a lot of sound effects that are very unique to it or anything. But it has a pretty nice flow to it. And you can definitely get into the groove and play this game quite a bit. There's some fun to be had here for sure. Gotta love that. The only thing that I wish this one had is a spinner. There's no spinner on it, and it's kind of disappointing. You've got drop targets in the middle instead of a spinner, but I really like my spinners from the era, so it's disappointing. Can't believe that was a whole game. It did not do particularly well. Okay, next one is, I believe it's Super Sonic Retro. Keeping with the original theme, we're going to go to a retro style where we're going to take out and go back to rings and dings.
Retro.
So this one's pretty wild. Everything kind of feeds into these two flippers. You've got some nudge ability because you've got to basically this center kind of treats it like a center post. So it's got some value to it. It is a four-player game. But lots of rollovers, so it's going to be particularly tough to get back to the upper playfield. That's the biggest problem I have with this game, is it becomes pretty hard to get back up to the top and continue play. So you deal with everything basically from this set of bumpers down, or these set of rollovers down, and it really takes away from the gameplay quite a bit. So while this one isn't bad, it plays a lot better than a lot of the retro tables. They could have done so much more with this one. I think this one had some value to it that could have been really, really good. So I would give this one a 7. It's certainly better than a lot of the retro tables where their configurations are so wild and crazy that they have a huge gap or something like that just makes them much slower. As we talked about, a lot of them have too many capture holes and things like that. This one at least is playable in a large way, so pretty great. All right, next up, let's go to Hippie. Now this is one of the award tables. Basically created in the electromechanical styles of the 1970s. I mean, hippie, right? I mean, it falls right into line, right? So,
Hippie.
okay. So obviously we're talking about flower power and Volkswagen party buses and things like this. Pretty cool. Only 3 flippers. A lot of these tables have the ball is actually quite large in comparison to everything else on the table, which is pretty cool. It actually makes for a really good experience, especially on the micro. So if you have a micro or even an HD, I think these games really translate really, really well. But particularly on the micro, I think it does a really nice job. Collect all the drop targets. This one's not bad. A lot of these award tables get kind of a bit of grief because they're pretty simplistic and pretty low scoring, but honestly, I actually like a lot of these, to be honest. I will say things like love are totally fine, hippie is totally fine, van is totally fine, but when you say cult, that definitely has some negative connotations nowadays, but it is what it is. As it is, I would give this table maybe a 6. It's pretty reasonable. I actually like the table quite a bit, but it's not one I'm going to play a lot. I think there's better themes out there for sure. And last, the Mummy. This is another one built in the electromechanical 1970s type of style.
The Mummy.
This one just got played on Flipper Friends a couple weeks ago, and I really fell in love with this table. I think it's a really fun table. Definitely one of the better awards tables, and it's quite beautiful too on top of that. So again, we're playing with volume a little bit to let you hear it. But this one's got some really punchy drop targets. Love the sounds of it. Lighting is all really, really cool. The dynamic lighting is quite awesome. Now it's too loud. Can't seem to... The multi-ball is pretty tough to get, but it is attainable, and it actually adds a lot to the gameplay, which is pretty cool. You basically have to hit all the drop targets on the top right and top left, and then you have to do the rollovers for red and blue, and then you get this to light up. And then you can actually go through and start a multi-ball, which is really, really cool. I actually wish they did more of a traditional Mummy style for the actual playfield and back glass, but otherwise, I mean, the game itself plays incredibly well. I really enjoyed this one quite a bit. So what would I give this one? I'd give this one a 9. I actually really like this one. I got hooked on it and played it quite a bit. I've definitely come back to it many times. I play this one on my Legends Ultimate Mini, as well as my Micro and my 4K. So I played this one quite a bit. It's kind of a shooter's table. Basically every shot is available from the bottom flippers, so it makes it really fun. So I can take that shot all the way from the bottom, or I can come over here and go all the way to the upper left. I mean, that's a fun shot. So anyway, had lots of fun with this one, and I would give that one a 9. Okay, so as a whole, what do I think of this pack? It's a pretty good pack. I would say it's first of all, it's probably one of the best retro tables you can have. These games are both really serviceable. I love the Mummy. I really like Star God 2019, the remake. And I like the original Star God as well. As a whole, I would probably give this pack only a 7 though, because you're really only getting maybe 4, maybe 5 of the games are really, really good. I could say that even the original Stars Phoenix, 2 Star Gods, Supersonic, and the Mummy are probably the ones that I would buy this one for. So if I had to rate the pack, I'd probably give this a pretty even-keeled 7. Like, there's nothing none of these tables stick out and like you have to have. Probably the top ones to me are clearly Star God and Mummy. Those are the two that are really like the best. The rest of them I could really do without, but for the most part, I think a 7 is pretty reasonable for this. For $25, it's a pretty good deal. If you can get it on sale, even better. On the 4K for $35, it's a little tougher sell, and you may want to wait on this one, or pick it up at a later date. But anyway, thank you for coming. I hope you guys enjoyed this review, and we'll see you next time.
Retro Tech.